Sports fans, you've seen my man Devin Williams of 10,000 Hours on my show a few times, and I wanted you to see the trailer for his new series called Heart of the City, as well as more of our awesome interview I did on training and fundamentals. I know I'm in.
One thing we're looking for you guys to bring a little bit of passion and enthusiasm. At 2:30, everybody in this gym should be drenched in sweat.
Texas. It's like a country of its own. There's something special taking place. And me, I'm just trying to see what's brewing here. Because there's a movement happening. Basketball has been on the rise for a while now. And that same passion for football is spilling over the hoop. Could it be the money behind the business? Or is it just strictly about the love? I came all the way from California just to find the heart of the city.
Let me ask you this: is there a certain fundamental skill that you see as a pattern that you're constantly having to harp on or fix or teach as all your people who are training come in, and maybe at any level? Is there something that keeps coming up all the time that you're always having to work on?
There's a bunch of things, honestly. Shooting is that's like the most important skill to me, is how to shoot the basketball, because I believe that if you know how to shoot the basketball, you always have a job somewhere. Another thing is ball handling. Everybody can dribble nowadays. You know, people can go between their legs, behind their back, but not a lot of people know how to use their body. They don't know how to use their off arms. So I'll see a lot of what I like to call cone warriors. So they get the cones out and they can do all that type of stuff. But when they get a moving body in front of them, it's just like they're kind of shook. And my workouts, they get pretty physical, right? So if you dribble, I teach not to dribble too much, right? I teach to do more with less, right? So now I kind of promote my videos, and when I started off with my whole 10,000 Hours series, that's all you saw, because I didn't know how to train. I just knew, I watched a lot of Air One, I watched a lot of NBA, so let me just try to put something together. As I got older, and even as I started traveling the world, I became a better trainer throughout the process, just learning from others and just watching what most consistently happens in the NBA game or a college game. And a lot of it is just putbacks, free throws, catch and shoot, pull-up jumpers, floaters, runners. It's not, how often do you see in a game, do you see somebody get dunked on and somebody fall to the ground? Or how many times you see somebody cross somebody over and they'll fall to the ground? So it's more about doing what most consistently happens while not trying to take away a person's creativity, because that's the way you produce like a Kyrie or you produce a Stephen Curry. Like, I don't want to take away your creativity. I just want to fine tune your game and fit the workout around you. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. I think the idea, and it's gotten more prevalent, is the idea of game simulation in your drills. And no longer what I try and do now or get away from is, I don't want to see a line of 5 kids standing at the wing waiting for their turn, and then they step out and you throw them the ball and they do it. What I'm now seeing, and it sounds like what you like as well, is we'll have them come down from the half court line and simulate, at least transition from offense to defense into the move or into the skill you want to work on. And that will then no longer do you have these things. I'll see these drills where they're doing through the legs 6 times in a row in place, and then they do a move. And I scratch my head. Listen, any drill is probably valid and could improve somebody, but I tend to scratch my head when I don't see sort of game simulated drills and skills work.
Well, that's the tough part about it. It's just like, what's the most effective way to train a player? Because I know some guys, and they'll admit it, they didn't know that much about basketball, but then they ended up putting somebody in the NBA, that they grew up with or that they trained for so long, or I know some guys that have never put a player in college, but they're, from what I see, that they have great trainers. So sometimes it's just about situation or whatever the case may be. But it's tough to know what the best way is to train a player. But I know you're going to need a lot of repetitions in terms of read and react, and you got to know how to read and react based on what the defense does or the offense does or whatever the case may be. So that's just the type of stuff. On top of traveling around the world, that's what I was kind of learning. I was learning the game at the same time because eventually, I mean, I'm not looking at myself as some sort of a savior, but I want to help. I want to help grow the game of basketball because it's such a great sport, and it's got me to do so many things in life. Like I went to China, I went to Toronto, I went to all these different Mexico just because of basketball, you know. And I believe it's such a great sport, and it's growing. It's a growing sport too. So I want to help contribute to that because I don't ever want, you know, people to stop being creative, creating different moves, and you know, become. I don't want people to become robots on the basketball court because people love drama, they love creativity, they love all this type of stuff. So I want to help build a better basketball world, a smarter one.
Absolutely.
You know, not one where because when I grew up, all I knew was, okay, let me ISO this guy. I don't want no screen. Get out of my way. I can do it myself. And I realized that wasn't the smartest way. So I'm trying to go back, and I start with younger kids now. I don't go. It's hard to teach an old dog new tricks. So I start with younger kids and try to teach them the right way of playing basketball from what I know. You know, and I don't know everything. And that's why another thing, what I've been doing, as I've been learning, I go to a lot of older guys. A lot of guys are older than me. I'd be crazy to think, a lot of people hit me up and say, I'm the best trainer in the world. I'm not the best trainer in the world. I just got a YouTube series, you know? So now people just see that. A lot of the older guys that I've ran into have the most knowledge upon the game, right? Because they've been around it for so long. So, you know, learning from those type of guys will help speed up my process and help me be able to create these better athletes.
You know, we talk a lot about the hop and the 1-2. I don't know if you're ever on Twitter when you're watching us and stuff. And you know, it's a fun conversation to have. I like to usually have it. I'm kind of shying away recently because it sounds like people who don't like the hop at all, want to simply discredit and say, well, you don't know anything about anything if you like the hop. Like, clearly you don't know anything about basketball. I've kind of encountered it. It's very strange. I'm kind of curious, you know, what your take on specifically those two methods of shooting are.
I think there's a situation to do both. And because of that, I teach both. I've seen Ray Allen go into the hop multiple times. I've seen Ray Allen go into the 1-2 multiple times. I've seen Stephen Curry do this exact same thing. Can't really say I've seen Reggie Miller do it too much, but he normally was a 1-2 guy. So I teach both, and then I try to find situations where they happen most consistently. Sometimes they may happen off a screen. I see Russell come off. He'll attack Russell Westbrook. He'll attack you straight on and just pop straight into the air. And years ago, I would have said, that's crazy. Like, why would you work on that? And now I'm seeing people do it and be very effective with it. So, I mean, I just think it's all about what you work on and what. One thing that I like to show guys is why you're doing something. You know, so if we're gonna work on this, I'm not just gonna drill it. I'm gonna show it to you in the game, in the situation where it happened and where the player was at on the floor, and this, that, and the other. So I'm not opposed to either one. I've seen guys come off a screen and pop straight into the air off 2 feet, or I've seen them 1-2. I personally think that the 2-foot hop is faster, but it's given the situation that you're doing it in.
Absolutely. Well, I think that you've found something great with your Heart of the City show, and I can't wait to watch it. I know everyone on our channel is going to have to flip over there and watch it when it's ready too. When do you think it's going to be up and watchable?
I have a video coming out June 14th called Back to Zero, 10,000 Hours Back to Zero, which is my new episode. On that same day, the trailer comes out. I believe that the full video for that comes out in 2 weeks for the Heart of the City series. We'll be putting them out over the next, about 3 months. And it should be pretty exciting. We got T-shirts coming out for the series, a couple of giveaways. And it'll be fun. It'll give people a chance to see what's happening in other cities. that they may not know about. So I'm excited about it.
Fantastic. Well, I'm excited about it too. I can't wait to see what you discovered and how you existed as a fish out of water in these different places. And, if you guys want to follow, tell us where we can follow you on the social media side.
I'm on Instagram. My Instagram is 10,000Hours, spelled TEN000 hours, HOURS. And on YouTube, it's Shift Team HQ. Twitter is the same thing as my Instagram handle, and I'm always active on all three of them. More or less the YouTube. People give me a hard time because I don't post that often, but I'm a busy guy nowadays.
You sure are. Well, thanks for coming on the show. Really great stuff. And don't forget, sports fans, at BBallBreakdown, we're not a channel, we're a conversation. You win? You win, Devin?
Oh, man.